Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
The Varsity Media Sports Network. This is the 23rd annual Acampora Lacrosse Jamboree, featuring two of the best public school boys lacrosse programs on Long Island today. Garden City makes the trip from Nassau County at 8-1 to take on the 8-1 Northport Tigers. Today's broadcast is brought to you by the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation and J&R Custom Landscaping. And we welcome you upstairs into the booth on this rainy Saturday afternoon, along with Rob Anderson, David Resnick. And when you make non-league games, you hope to challenge yourself, get something out of the matchup. And with the postseason within shouting distance, what a treat that we have that these two teams turn out to be two of the best on Long Island.
They are the standard bearers for Nassau County and Suffolk County. You've got Northport. Both the teams 8-1 right now. Northport running gun, super high-scoring team. Garden City, another one. They can put the ball in the net. Defense and time of possession is going to be really important here, David. But this is setting the mark for what we're going to expect from boys playoff lacrosse come Long Island championship time.
Both teams fell short in terms of their quest for a county title last year, but very much, of course, in the question or in the conversation to get back to the winner's circle this season. As we take a look at Garden City, the Trojans winners of 7 straight. They've already come out to Suffolk County and taken down Ward Melville on the road, so another trip out here to Section 11. And the impact players for the Trojans include Charlie Coster, one of the best goal scorers in Nassau County.
And we get to see Charlie Coster also as a state champion soccer player. So this is a kid who knows how to win and playing on both sides. In addition, we've got Will Mattis over there, and he's a junior. 2 assists on the season, plays a real important role in the transition game and getting that ball out of the back.
And as for Northport, their impact players, another star offensive player. We will see him along the attack line, and when it's all said and done, might be the most prolific offensive player in Northport history in Jack Delaberti.
He's going to have his hands full today, but Delaberti can hit the twine with that ball. A threat from all parts of the field. He can shoot from the outside. He can come out from behind. And then, of course, we've got the other end of the ball there, David, in Mr. Cameron Foley.
A senior who is bound for Stony Brook, playing at long stick midfield.
I'm so sorry. Told me to go through this door. Apologize.
Take a look at the starters for these teams. First for the visitors, Garden City. Great offensive mix. They've had to shuffle their lineup at times this season, throwing different players into different spots. As mentioned, Koster will lead that attack unit, Ben Smith and James DeBuscher. The midfield will rotate a number of names, including the senior Dan Medjid, who is bound for Holy Cross. Will Mattice playing that long stick midfielder spot, and Luke Lesure is a senior off to Binghamton in front of the goalie, Jake Schliff. And there's a look at Jake, the starting netminder. A bit of a preseason battle for who would take over the number one spot, but it has been Schliff throughout this season, saving at a clip of nearly 60%. As for Northport, we'll take a look at their anticipated starters, led, of course, by Della Birdie up top. It's a talented group from top to bottom, which also includes a couple of seniors in Asher Levine and Joseph Zarcone on the defensive end that are college-bound to play lacrosse, and Gavin Stabile, the senior between the pipes, one of the captains for the Tigers. We mentioned that this is the 23rd annual Acapulco Lacrosse Jamboree, and prior to this terrific matchup, let's send it down to the field for a pregame ceremony.
For the efforts of these two amazing people, we wouldn't be GBs at our contest today. And without further ado, it is my pleasure that I welcome Karen and John Acapulco.
So first off, I want to thank Garden City and of course our lovely Northport team for being here today. I'd like to thank also the Northport School District, our athletic director, Mark D'Antuono, and the incredible custodial staff, security staff, athletic trainer, and our beloved coaches who all came together to make the 23rd Louis Acapulco Memorial Jamboree memorable. We'd also like to thank and acknowledge the Three Village Youth Lacrosse Program, who for the past several years have brought their entire, I don't mean to have my back here to support the Jamboree and our mission of taking our children out of harm's way. Also, a big thank you to their own Northport Youth Program, the boys and girls lacrosse group of clubs that give their time to volunteer and support this wonderful day to remember Louis and promote his mission.
You could also look to where I was. Like in that
I was reading an article how youth lacrosse programs are, and today it is a testament to these two communities who truly care about fostering young athletes to develop the skills and a love of the game. Thank you to the coaches and parents of these two exceptional communities. So, John would like to say a few.
So, first of all, oh boy, thank you everybody for being here today. And I know this is a very special day for Louis because he absolutely adored the game of lacrosse. And I know he's smiling down on us, and like Karen said, made the weather change when we walked out there. But one thing that's real important to me is, as everyone knows, our foundation wants to see defibrillators everywhere and CPR. But one thing we started 25 years ago was we started to fund the research and development of chest protection that will actually prevent community disorders. That took until 2020 to have a chest protected. And in 2022, U.S. Lacrosse mandated that every player has to wear a chest protector that will prevent from what took Lewis's life. And I gotta tell you, when I go to all these tournaments with my grandson and I see you little guys getting dressed and I see you put on that required chest protector, it means the world to me. And I wonder how many kids that hit the ball or poke check with a stick and just kept on running because of Lewis. So thank you all again.
Thank you. So a beautiful part of our day of celebrating Lewis and what his mission stands for is to honor members of the community at large who have taken heroic action in saving someone's life. So our first story here begins on June 29th in Vail, Colorado. Dan Bolcher, Cornell alumni, Milwaukee native, and a member of Team 26. And I might add, he has been repping the LA 12 team for years, right? And at the Lewis Athletic Jamboree. He's been playing lacrosse since the age of 10. Dan is also very health conscious, as you can see. He eats right and he works out religiously. That commitment to health has helped him not only play the game he loves into his 60s, but for the last 15 years. It has also kept him active as a high school and college referee in New York. I might add he's one of those guys who's always willing to get out there and support the growth of the game. Looking at the brackets, when he was in Texas and knowing how good his teams were likely to be, and none of the team in Texas were excited to have to play them first thing on Saturday morning. While spirited effort by both teams ensued, less than 15 minutes later into the first half, Dan didn't feel quite right. He went to the sidelines, he stood in the box for a moment, and abruptly collapsed. Dr. Larry Musula, a midfielder for Team Texas, was about to go in the game when Dan went down. Larry immediately moved Dan's helmet, checked his airway, and kept it clear. Head trainer for the Vail tournament, Lisa was always there to help. But it was Dr. Joe Botner, in goal for Cloud, though, who ran to Bolcher, realizing the situation, and immediately removed his gloves to ensure the proper hand placement and began performing CPR. He was doing life-saving technique in a full goalie gear, including his helmet. An AED was at hand and applied, and it kickstarted Dan back to labored breathing. The paramedics quickly came and whisked him off to the hospital. So what we might say is that Dan was at the right place at the right time. So unfortunately, Joe and Larry and Lisa couldn't be here because they don't even know what was supposed to hear, but they sent his best friend Dan and so we just honoring the rest of the Our next story occurred on March 1st, 2025 at Florida Western Park. The Nassau Academy Class A boys basketball final was occurring between Floral Park and West Hempstead when referee Joe Gaskin collapsed in the first quarter. Luckily for Joe, he had a team of bystanders who jumped into action. I would like to ask one of Joe's heroes, Tiffany Vargas, to tell us.
Not even halfway into the first quarter, Joe Gaskin collapsed right in front of our eyes. A team of us ran around the side, immediately activated, immediately started chest compression, ran back at AED, applied a pad, and then so important to the public, the importance of the immediate CPR and having an AED available in all public places, especially during youth events. For your advocacy, we are indebted to you, and we are so grateful for all your hard work. And we really appreciate all your efforts.
That is very sweet of you. Greatly appreciated. So, Joe, I'd like you to present your awards to Tiffany Vargas, Monica Lally, Jennifer Keene, Dr. Stephen Lokita, and Darlene Seager. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good luck. Good luck.
Part of the mission of the Louis Acampora Foundation is to essentially get as many AEDs to as many fields and athletic facilities as they possibly can. As Louis, back in 2000, it was his first lacrosse game, blow to the chest while he was playing at 14 years old and went into cardiac arrest. And the idea is that if an AED was available, that Louis would still be alive. And we got to witness such a touching pregame ceremony honoring the folks that were instrumental in that incident back in the winter at Farmingdale State. We'll talk more about that in a moment as we take a break for the national anthem here at Northport.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter!
As West barks out the signals. West is going to keep it himself inside the 5 to the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Southside.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
23rd Annual Acampora Lacrosse Jamboree, the LA12 Foundation, as we welcome you back to Northport High School here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. This showcase game, part of 5 overall here today, in addition to the youth events that are surrounding Tiger Stadium, as we take a look at the keys to this game for this Nassau-Suffolk showdown.
And you can see it there with Garden City. It's just what they do. business as usual, control the pace and the possession, and try to limit those Northport opportunities. They shoot a lot. They like to move the ball well and take as many shots on net as they possibly can and play like it's any other game. It might be a big day playing against this team, but it's another day as business for this Garden City team. And for Northport, they need to play with discipline. Make sure there's no penalties. Keep those sticks in check. Control their emotions on the field, which goes hand in hand with that discipline. And in addition, just stay the course. No matter what the score is, you play Northport Tiger lacrosse.
Both these teams average double-figure goals. They give up 7 or less defensively. And perhaps the biggest key of them all, the face-off matchup. Dylan Bumgarth for Northport, one of the best in Suffolk. Lou Cascadin, one of the best in Nassau. Who is going to control possession today? Who will allow their offenses to go to work against a stifling defense? Garden City on the left, Northport in their home whites on the right. Both these teams undefeated against New York State competition. Northport 8-1, Garden City 9-1. Both ranked nationally in the U.S. Lacrosse Public High School Top 25. And we are underway at Northport as Lou Cascadin nearly overran the ground ball, but it is Garden City possession to open it up.
And they're automatic right out of the gate, moving the ball really well. Dangler gets it back to his keeper. Now, here comes that offensive attack. Let's see how they move in transition.
33 in the maroon is Owen Wukta. Just another player in the long line of stellar defensive middies for Garden City. It's a procedural call against the Trojans as they struggle to advance. Bill Lawler and Kevin Sullivan, our two officials for today's matchup.
And David, Northport stifling right out of the gate. They're playing very aggressive. And again, if they keep those emotions in check, 2-on-1s.
Gavin O'Brien shoots to the side of the net. Schliff positioned well to force the tough shot. He scoops up the ground ball, and Garden City trying to clear successfully for the first time. Blake Cascadin, 2 in the maroon, shifting from short stick defensive midfield to pole. Tried to stay on offensively and call for it, but Garden City will go to more of a traditional midfield lineup. Pass is too tall, looking for Coster, and it is a turnover to the Tigers.
Costly turnover. Good look there. Coster getting in great position, just unable to connect. And now here come the Tigers in the other direction.
"20 seconds to get it across midfield, 10 for a touch in the box, and that triggers the 60-second shot clock. Now in its first year in New York State. Garden City crossed the Hudson and played New Jersey Power Bridgewater Raritan in New Jersey at Rutgers and had to adjust without the shot clock. Left alley dodge pushing in against the short stick of Ruck. Now a dodge from the outside and a crank. It is tracked and stopped by Schliff on the offering from Grayson Cabrera.
This is what they're going to do, shoot early and often. Cabrera going with that sidearm slingshot. And the first save of the game we've got there for Schliff. And David, talking to most coaches, they love the shot clock. Not having it is, again, a bit of an adjustment going back to what they used to do. But most of them seem to be a big fan so far of forcing play.
Talk to most broadcasters, and they agree.
Especially in those waning minutes. But seeing the 90-second shot clock for the girls and the 60-second for the boys, it's been a welcome addition.
Dan Medjid, a senior bound for Holy Cross, inverts, looking to take on the short stick of Logan Cash, who plays both ways for Northport. Robertiello, right alley dodge, and finds the outlet of Coster behind the net. Shot clock is down to 6. The shot's deflected. Cameron Foley, the pole was all over it. Possession stays with Garden City, but not much they can do with just 3 seconds left on the timer. Garden City just throws it to the corner, getting their defensive personnel onto the field. They capitulate the possession and get ready for their ride.
You called the Tigers stifling, and that's exactly what they're doing so far. They've been very aggressive, up in the faces of all these Garden City offensive players. Going to the 2-on-1 at times. They are tough.
Logan Cash, over 100 career points. Broke that mark earlier this season as part of his 12th grade campaign. Circles the crease with a short stick on his back. That's Wukta. Cabrera spins, dumps it behind the net. Here's Seamus Burke, part of the starting attack unit. Nice job by Declan Wukta to stop the dodge for Cabrera. And that was gobbled up in the breadbasket. Another good save by Schliff. He's got a couple early in this first quarter to keep it scoreless. More than 4 minutes in. But Garden City turns it over. Once again, an unsuccessful clear. Cabrera unsettled. Zarcone moves it along to Burke, and they will settle it down, with the Garden City defense a bit unsure of their assignments. 15-4 was the win on Thursday at Ward Melville for Northport. Convincing victory over the Patriots to stay undefeated in Suffolk County Division I. Only 2 undefeated teams left in the big boy division of Suffolk County, the Tigers and Half Hollow Hills, entering the weekend 7-0. Coming around the crease and potting it high, Grayson Cabrera opens the scoring in Northport's favor.
And there they are, huddled up and circling around Cabrera. It was a matter of time. That's a third shot of the game, and this one's going to get through. He does a great job coming out of that exposition behind the net. Gets a little too much space, winds it up, that sidearm, and it's over the right shoulder of Schliff. Nothing he could do there after making 2 really nice saves prior.
Cabrera really elevating his game in the offseason. 16 points as a sophomore. First line midfielder as a junior. Cascadin on the left, Bumgarth on the right. Cascadin facing off at about 82% this year. Won the first face-off. And a loose ball push is called against Northport to award possession and the second face-off victory to the Trojans.
Got to do that. I'm an idiot.
So Garden City taking their time, setting up their perimeter. A lot of conversations down there. You can see a lot of finger pointing, trying to figure out where they got to go.
On the move, it is Robertiello missing. Top facilitator on the team with 16 assists, but looking for the goal there on the right alley dodge. Coster, a low shot, and the first stop for Stabile. The senior got tested low and caught it in the 5-hole.
And that's what Costa's very good at, changing sight lines. Looking high, went down low, and had his first scoring opportunity, team's first scoring opportunity. And a great stave there by Stabile.
Past the midway point of the opening quarter, it is 1-0 Northport on the goal from Cabrera. Delaberti circling. 32 goals on the season. Schliff got a piece of that one and a reset of the shot clock after his third save. On the reload from the outside, Logan Cash. 2-0.
And that all starts with that pressure by Delaberti. Just ambidextrous, moving that stick back and forth in his hands. He gets that first shot off. Schliff looking around, and here's the replay. Look at that shot, David. I mean, it is deep, it is low, and it is on target. Doesn't get better than that, Logan Cash.
Cash the score. Subbing out with Cabrera and Zarcone switching spots on the wing. 5:21 to go, opening quarter. Northport with the early lead.
You're not going to see the panic button hit by Fennell early on with any kind of timeout, but they need to tighten up that defense, start put a little more pressure, close the gaps. Way too much space for this Tiger team.
Garden City 3 for 3 after another loose ball push. Garden City, number 25 in the preseason polls. They've delivered a 9-1 record to this point. 6-1 away and neutral site games. They'll finally play their first game on campus this upcoming week. Smith didn't watch it into his cross. The freshman with varsity experience dropped it, and it is unsettled the other way. Extra feed, and Delaberti knows what to do with it. 3-0. Asher Levine set it up with his transition play.
We'll take another look here. I mean, just look at that beautiful pass, the bouncer. You cannot give that kind of space to Delaberti. It was Luke Liacano coming down there and just lofting it, identifying Delaberti right out in the open there, and he just finishes that ball. Absolute perfection.
Garden City not going to panic, but they are going to call timeout. They've won all 3 faceoffs, but they trail 3-0 on the scoreboard with 4:40 to go in the opening quarter.
So it's the mission of the Long Island Metropolitan Lacrosse Foundation is to spread the positive spirit of lacrosse and support the highest ethical standards for all participants through annual initiatives, including targeted grants, scholarship programs, lacrosse educational clinics, and events to raise awareness and resources in support of the game. The LIMFL Board of Directors strives to represent all aspects of lacrosse across Long Island and New York City. Our board consists of men and women who coach and or volunteer with teams from the youth to post-collegiate levels, along with referees, umpires, organizers, managers, parents, supporters, and other dedicated lacrosse people. We meet monthly to respond to the needs of their lacrosse constituencies. Currently, there are 12 members on the executive committee, 30 directors, and 12 associate directors. All of these people dedicated volunteers to work to spread the positive spirit of lacrosse and support the highest ethical standards of the game.
And a list of some of the programs that the Long Island Metro Lacrosse Foundation are a part of. It's a mouthful to say. It takes up the whole screen in terms of their impact and everything that they are involved in. And in terms of U.S. lacrosse, both these teams ranked in the top 25 in the public poll. Northport checking in at 23, Garden City at 5. It was over the last couple years that they separated out the privates and also the prep schools that play high school schedules. And so it was kind of locking out the teams like Garden City and Northport that were worthy of being nationally ranked. As Northport calls a timeout after claiming possession there. Let's call that their first face-off win as they have it in the offensive side of the field, leading 3-0. Well, no surprise that the top teams in Long Island are littered with players that are heading to the next level, and this is the list we got of everybody in a current Northport jersey that you'll be able to see soon enough in a college jersey.
Yeah, they're going to be in Long Island, in New York, UMass, and looks like Nick Spinner and Joe Zarcone getting to stay teammates in Oswego.
On a day like today in Oswego, it wouldn't be rain. It would be snow.
There definitely would be
so
snow.
Hopefully, I think as somebody who went to school in Central New York, it's like you could make fun of your own. And so I am making fun of Oswego from a place of love. But let's just hope that those athletic programs give out some heavy parkas.
Well, down here, 64 degrees and rain.
Sweltering
on the North Shore
64. Huh?
It's a sweltering 64 in this booth. Steam on the windows here. But we know our producer's not going to open the windows.
You know, it's coaches talk about a full 48 minutes, and I just hope you last a full 48 minutes. So.
Oh, it looks like we're going to.
Ooh, peer pressure. All you folks at home were tagging Varsity Media. Open up that window. Save Rob. We listen to the people.
Thank you, folks at home.
Back underway. It's 3-0 Northport. First midfield line back out there. Okono has it. Watched there by a short stick. Dangler in position to handle the pick, and he switches on to Cash. 3 different goal scorers and a bouncer from the outside. Cabrera vying for his second. He opened up the scoring at the 6:47 mark. Cash and Delaberti, the other two, to cash in for Northport to build this 3-0 first quarter lead. Shot clock is down to 18. Loyacono inverts, takes the short stick behind, twists, frees the hands, and that bouncer is through the crease and out of bounds with 5 to shoot.
Yeah, not going to do anything to help that shot clock as it was off the mark.
Delaberti just throws it to the corner. Shot clock expires. Each team with 1 shot clock violation. And Northport forcing Garden City to go the length of the field after the violation.
So Billy Courts took that timeout immediately after Coach Fennell took his. And I got to wonder if that's just a reminder. It was in the keys of the game. You're up 3-0. Oh, boy.
Delaberti from distance with Schliff out of position. The ride forces the turnover and immediately delivering a 4-0 lead.
Well, that's called mid-thought, and I had to shut up there as Delaberti intercepted that pass, and there was no doubt about it. Practically an empty netter like you'd see in a hockey game when you pull the goalie. A great athletic play as he leaps in the air, and then that sidewinder shot. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And you talk about goals. There's a lot of pretty goals. That's as pretty as it gets. You're shooting it from 30 yards out. And on the mark, Delaberti, just a star. 2 goals today.
What is that called in soccer? Chipping the keeper?
That's it. Yeah. Yep, chipping it past the keeper. And
especially when they're out of position like that.
You know, but in a transition, doing what he normally does, just caught on a really nice athletic play.
Delaberti was under pressure there. Didn't sense that Merrick Ruck.
So after that timeout was, hey, boys, we're up 3-0. Play like it's 0-0. They certainly still are.
Side of the net on that one. Loose ball. Schliff out of his crease. Last touch by Garden City on the end line.
Logan Cash trying to get that one.
Northport's fans trying to contend. That's a change of possession, and it should be a full shot clock reset. Instead, it's 10 to go. Cabrera, right alley dodge, and the rip. Beating the shot clock and Schliff for a 5-0 start here at home.
Wow. Yeah, that's Grayson Cabrera, his second on the day, and he is stoked right now. Absolutely a dominant performance here by Northport as we get another look at it. And just over the top and then crashes in, practically a semi-bulldodge going through there. And he said to the crowd, don't worry about the shot clock. I got this under control. Grayson Cabrera, his second, team's 5th. And turn it into a rout early here in Northport.
He's got 2. Delaberti's got 2. Battle for possession. It is still on.
That was Nick Spinner. We got him in the sights there. Good job by the camera crew. Spinner asserting himself early.
It is a 30-second technical for a push with possession. First extra man opportunity on either side, and Northport already up 5-0. Blake Cascadden playing long stick midfield today is on a knee for 30 seconds as the Tigers go 6-on-5. No changes in the lineup. Top 6 out there for this extra man. Under 2 to go, on the crease, and slammed home by Gavin O'Brien. 6 in a row to start for the Tigers.
Well, the last thing they needed was an extra man. And as Cascadden sits and looks on, you can see that shot there. And again, just an absolute rocket. And finished by Gavin O'Brien.
Cash zipped it through the defense to find O'Brien, who grew 4 inches from his freshman to sophomore year. I would have taken a couple. Then or now. As Northport has done a much better job at the face-off X as they win their 4th in a row. And they end up with possession as it is dislodged from Cascadden's stick.
Coach Billy Court's on the side with his hands up to the referees, asking about all this contact going on. Starting to see the frustration boil.
Garden City snuck in a timeout as Cascadden had it right along the sideline. Garden City out of timeouts after using both of their first half stoppages in the first quarter. Earlier this quarter, we took a look at the Northport College commits. How about for Garden City?
Yeah, you can take a look there. I mean, you got Berkery going to Villanova, Cornell for Cascadden, and Navy for Luke Cascadden, so they'll be going different places. Merrimack for Kupani, Coaster going to Lehigh, LeSueur, SUNY Binghamton, Mattis to Holy Cross, Nelson staying on Long Island, Adelphi University, and Wookta going to Bucknell. So lots of athletes moving on, lots of tuitions coming through.
Both sets of twins are off to different destinations.
What do you think? They need a break? Try to start creating their own identities?
I heard there's been some conflict at the dinner table recently. It's just the allotment of, one stealing off each other's plate. It's been tough.
Who won't pass the salt?
1:28 to go. So it's out of Cascadden's stick, and because of the timeout, they can get it into a short stick of Michael Berkery. Anthony Asaro out there in the midfield. Coaster will shift from attack to midfield and start this dodge from up top against a short stick. Dumped inside, and once again, the connection was not clean.
What was clean was that nice hit by Cameron Foley down low.
So Garden City struggling offensively, another turnover, and they just can't seem to find their way on that end of the field as they have given up 6 in a row. That is more per game than what they typically allow. Coming in at 5.8, they haven't allowed double figures at all this year. And here they are staring at a 6-0 deficit with the shot clock off and 30 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Delaberti with 2, Cabrera with 2. Cash and O'Brien round out the 6 goal scorers. The O'Brien tally from Cash who dumps it inside to O'Brien once again. Skip pass to the wing, and it bounces through Burke and out of bounds with 7 seconds left.
And Garden City, looking like coaches are saying go, go, go. I thought they were going to eat it there.
Asaro races across midfield, and his shot is late. And what an opening salvo from Northport. 6 goals in the final 7 minutes of the opening quarter, and they have a commanding lead in the 23rd annual Acapulco Lacrosse Jamboree on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Steve Fennell, 19th season leading his alma mater, graduate of Garden City back in 91 before a career at Duke. Started back in 2007 after 9 years on the JV under Doc Doherty. He's closing in on not having enough fingers to count all of his LICs. He's got 9 of those, 5 state titles. But he points at the main goal of being the county championship, and he's got 13 in the previous 18 seasons. Feldham and Hassett in last year's semifinals. Southside would go on to win Class B in Nassau County. And when I spoke to him before the game, he talked about that singular goal of making it back to that championship game and winning. As Northport has figured things out at the dot, Bumgarth has made the adjustment, and now that's 5 wins in a row. We're going to restart play. Believe it was a clock malfunction. So a great start for Northport, but Rob, before the game, also just a really touching ceremony as part of this Louis Acampora Lacrosse Jamboree.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the friends and family are carrying on, the memory of Louis. And before this game, Jen Keene from Wantagh High School, also the coordinator in the basketball, was on the field with referee Joe Gaskin, who had a heart attack during a game in the playoffs, Floral Park playing there. And one of the nurses went down and helped resuscitate him, and it was because of those AEDs on the premises that Joe's with us, and just a great guy. And what a beautiful ceremony there, honoring Joe as a survivor, honoring Joe as a referee. And
his initial save made, but Northport adds to the lead.
Yeah, it looked like it was Gavin O'Brien.
The turnovers, the ride, the careless plays, all adding up.
We'll get another look there as, that was intercepted right into the net, the stick, right on the stick for O'Brien, and O'Brien just finishes it quickly. I mean, you can't turn your head on this right now, David. I mean, they're doing everything. That's the second big turnover by the keeper to result in a goal.
Face-off win, Garden City. First win for Lou Cascadin cleanly in a while. And you look at the 7 goals, 1 on the man up, 2 directly from turnovers their defensive, on Garden City's defensive side of the field. And so they are scoring 6-on-6. Let's give Northport credit where credit is due. But almost half of the goals have, come from being on the man down or just careless plays in transition with the goalie out of position. Can Garden City build some momentum offensively? Unofficially, just one shot on goal in that first quarter, and they don't get another one here. Asher Levine in transition had an assist earlier on Delaberti's first.
Yeah, these are games as a coach, too. When you are a winning program the way you are, and this is going on, you see what kind of character your team's got. What is the metal? What are they built up? What's their psychology? How are they going to go moving forward? So not a game you like being a part of as far as the scoreboard goes, but definitely an opportunity for you to see what your team's made of and build off of this type of situation. It's a huge comeback at this stage of the game, down 7, and just a dominant performance by Northport.
Northport spinning it. Delaberti gets inside and slots it home. A first-half hat trick. And 35 goals on the season for the explosive Jack Delaberti.
Yeah, you can take a look here as Delaberti gets it. It's a little roll dodge in and overhand like he was chopping an axe. Makes it look easy, and he's got that 3-piece nugget up there. You said it, a hat trick for Delaberti, just adding to the stats.
Back to the dot in an 8-0 game. If you're just tuning in, it would be reasonable to suspect as Kaskanen comes charging in and he's dispossessed that there was something wrong with our graphic. But it is in fact 8-0. Tic-tac-toe, extra piece. O'Brien took his eye off of it. But Delaberti tracks it down on the sideline to save possession for the Tigers. 8-0 in league play. Hills East right behind them at 7-0. Huntington and Connecticut 6-1. Perhaps the stiffest test of the season for Northport, and so far they are passing with flying colors as Delaberti bounces one over the cage.
David, you've got some premier athletes out there, some great lacrosse players, and tell me that Delaberti doesn't just stand out. I mean, he is such an incredible lacrosse player.
Tough cover for sure.
His hands, I mean, his ability to go left, right, ambidextrous stick handling, shooting.
That one ricochets. And the backup to the Marist-bound junior, Loyacono. From the outside, Schliff, the stop, went low to make his 5th save. Thomas O'Brien gets stuck defensively, and now he'll look to sub off. Logan Cash coming on after getting a breather on the offensive side. Right alley dodge, ducked his side, and bounced home. Garden City is on the board. Ben Smith.
Looked like it was just a missed assignment there to get Smith that type of space. You can see the ball comes down underneath, and Smith finishes. It was a sorrow with that pass. And really just a missed defensive assignment. As soon as Stabile got up, he was pointing like, who's got him? So give the Sorrow the assist. First assist of the game. Smith's first goal of the game and the first tally for Garden City. It's now 8-1.
With Lou Kaskaden, they can play a lot of make it, take it. Number 2 in Nassau faceoff wins, 3rd in percentage, clocking in at 82%. But it is Cash off the wing that wins the faceoff. Delaberti, the rip, Schliff up to task, a big-time save to double up the goal. And so keeping it 8-1, and perhaps Garden City can build some momentum.
There you go. Dare we say a momentum shift? We'll see what happens. A big goal, big save. And we'll see if the Trojans can turn into the team that they are very capable of being, which means limiting turnovers and free opportunities here for Northport.
Northport led 6-0 after one. Tigers scoring the game's first 8 goals. 7 minutes to go. Nearly went over and back, but Coaster was there to save it in midair before it dropped on the wrong side of midfield. Another errant pass. It was James DeBuscher going through the crease. Good hustle by Smith to keep it alive. 20 to shoot. Step down. Denied. There was Stabile robbing Michael Berkery.
You don't want to call a save of the game this early in this situation, but there's one. And another nice move by Stabile to scoop that one off the turf.
2 big ones on a single possession. Northport up by 7, nearly midway through the second quarter. Logan Cash navigates his way across midfield to get the touch in the box.
And now we're starting to see signs of the Garden City that Northport signed on to play against. They're getting more shots, a good second quarter so far, or at least last minute of this second quarter. Garden City's look like they woke up.
Delaberti. Drew Galley there. And now inverting behind the cage, going against the short stick and a quick slide. And Wukta is able to get back on Delaberti as a step down is gobbled up. There was Cabrera looking for the hat trick, and instead, save number 7 unofficially for Schliff. It leads to transition the other way. Ben Smith coughed it up. Fighting after the loose ball. And Garden City holds on to it as it went over the sideline and out of bounds. Robert Tiello will invert. Chase Krause, Anthony Asaro, part of this midfield line. On the run, Asaro had the earlier assist, and now his goal makes it 2 in a row for Garden City.
How about Asaro coming right off the sidelines and immediately getting involved in the play. He made that full run as soon as he stepped onto the turf. And look at this run. Keeps it in that right hand. And then the side arm shot. And nothing that Stabile can do about that one. So he's got a goal and an assist so far. And Asaro really making a statement out there. As soon as he stepped on the turf, ball gets put on his stick, and big things happen.
3-on-3 battle for the ground ball. Taken away by Wukta. Unsettled. Wukta fires and scores. He scores it on a run and call it a Garden City run. 3 straight.
Watch out. Here they come. What an absolutely dominant play. It is end-to-end. As soon as that ball is picked up, all gas. And what a shot. 3 goals now on the board for Garden City. And my goodness, that happened fast. Owen Wukta.
Another face-off win for Cascadon. Violation there called against Bumgarth. So the great chess match at the dot where Garden City's Cascadon won the first 3. And then the adjustment was made by Bumgarth at the end of the first quarter. And now it's 4 in a row with the left alley dodge. Asaro strikes again.
Anthony Asaro, just a complete beast right now. Making that burgundy uniform proud. Take a look at him. A nice dodge out to the left and a quick shot. And you got to wonder if Northport, when their timeout's going to come, I did not see this coming. I got to be honest with you, because it was some sloppy play by Garden City in that first quarter. And all of a sudden, they decided to buckle down, and they are playing like the best team in Nassau County.
What seemed insurmountable, down 8, now seems a bit more probable, cutting that deficit in half with 4 goals in the span of about 3.5 minutes. On the verge of another face-off win, picked up by Cascadon. And now the face-off wins are turning into goals as the jumper on the move by Berkery is stopped by Stabile. Berkery once again trying to overpower the defense, but it was a shot with his momentum going away from the cage from distance and tracked there by one of the captains, Kevin Stabile, who's really put in the work watching film, making those around him better, and has really come on as a senior between the pipes for Northport. Chance for the Tigers to settle. It's been a while since they've had the ball in their cross. Cabrera high-stepping his way down the right alley. Delaberti with Wakta on him. 2-time All-County at short stick defensive midfields as that one is bounced over the cage. Good hustle there by Burke with the defender Declan Wakta trailing him, trying to hustle his way back to another possession. 10 to shoot, under 3 to play first half. Things have gotten interesting here in Northport.
I tell you, Wookta did a really nice job defensively there on Delberti, but then a little split dodge, how he got that shot off, a testament to how good his skill is. But Garden City really starting to batten down the hatches, and you pointed out a huge difference in this is Luke Cascadon in that face-off circle.
You know, we talked a little bit earlier as a shot clock violation against Northport. There was a save by Schliff that at 8-0, you know, you don't want to overstate the importance, but it was a save at a moment in time where it felt like things were completely unraveling for Garden City. But at least for a moment, they were able to stabilize, and they've answered with 4 in a row. What a nice job there by Wakta to go behind the back to Berkery as Owen was falling out of bounds. You won't find a program that values their short stick defensive midfielders more than Garden City. Maybe there are programs that equally do, but I don't think anybody more. As a shot on the run for Coster is high. Can Garden City get him going without a point in the first half?
You just read my mind. Honestly, I was looking, as soon as you said his name, it's been pretty quiet. We haven't mentioned him, but a lot of the guys around him starting to pick up their game. Asaro won. You mentioned Owen Wookta. He's been sensational.
Coaster has moved from attack to midfield as he dodges from the top. He's now behind the cage as that skip pass. What a grab by Smith. A blast from the outside for Mejid is off target. 32 to shoot. 1:32 left first half. Can the Trojans get even closer as they've rattled off 4 straight to make this a game in the first half? Robert Tiello trying to get to that strong right side. Asaro dropped it, recovers, 14 to shoot. Up top, and a jump shot is off target, 9 to go. Holy Cross bound senior has attempted a couple of shots here on this possession. Coaster's got one chance, trying to get topside, spins inside 4.
Oh my goodness.
The riser in the corner. Blows it by Stabile, and Charlie is heard from for the first time this afternoon.
You put that energy out into the atmosphere. Charlie Coaster, the soccer state champion, pretty quiet. And look at this. Changes direction, loses the defender, and threw another defender past Levine. And then the top right corner. What a shot there by Charlie Coaster.
What makes it even more impressive is that everybody knows he's got to go. Final 10 seconds of the shot clock. He has to move towards the cage.
And Garden City doing a really nice job moving the ball stick to stick now. Some real tic-tac-toe passes going on down there. And it's just off by a little bit here and there. That one pass to Smith, he was off his feet. I bet if they were planted, you might have saw a goal prior as well.
Timeout taken by Northport, using their second and final timeout.
That's a good timeout right there. You want to slow things down, remind your team that you are in the lead, even though it's starting to diminish. And they are going to talk it over right now, try to figure out how to get better defensively.
Design, build, and maintain your dream home. J&R Custom Landscaping has been proudly offering landscape design for over 30 years. Give them a call today. See their number right on the screen, 516-250-8461.
David, I do a little landscaping myself, and it's that time of year. Mother's Day, you got to start getting your crops in the ground and flowers. We're almost there.
Well, you missed the rain from this morning, so you're already a little in debt.
That's it. We're going to have to get the sprinklers on, too. What about yourself? You're a grounds kind of guy?
I leave it to the professionals, like J&R Landscaping.
You do?
Yeah.
All right. I would use J&R, too.
Or the RNA Landscaping. I didn't know you were available.
I'm available. I'll put my number on the next graphic. Becca, you going to get on that?
Competition. Where's the check?
Oh, that's true. Maybe.
Yeah, no free pops here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Maybe. Do you do? All right. Well, J&R. Maybe they'll hire me. I've got an eye. I love it. I've got blueberries, strawberries.
Really?
Yeah, big into the berries. We got a lot of berries. Got raspberries all over the place.
Expecting a crop the next time we work together.
100%. Basil, I can make pesto for you, too. I don't know if you're a pesto guy.
To dip the berries in? Or
yeah, sure. We can do that.
Okay.
We can try something
I didn't know
new.
if there was a connection.
No connection. Okay. Just it's a basil fest in my backyard, too. Don't let the Anderson fool you. My mom's a DeLuca. Lots of basil.
Good to know.
Yeah.
It's important to keep in the back of the mind next time we work around lunchtime. O'Brien's got a couple. He's behind the cage. Shot clock is off with a minute to go, second quarter.
So it has been Garden City, 5 unanswered. We'll see if Northport can make those adjustments and settle in. Maintaining emotion was one of the keys to the game.
Have not scored since the 9:40 mark of the quarter, which now has 12 seconds to go. Cash trying to free the hands. Cascadin on him at LSM. 3 to go. Wide of the cage on the turnaround shot, and we head to halftime 8-5. It was shocking to see an 8-0 score, and almost equally as shocking that Garden City has been able to rattle off 5 in a row. But I think 8-5 or a 3-goal difference at halftime is something that we would have expected, as Charlie Coaster heard from for the first time in this game with 63 ticks to go in the half. And it is halftime. Garden City and Northport on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off. That's 3 in a row now.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media @Varsity Media. High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash! What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Closing in on the final moments of halftime and looking ahead to the second half. But first, where have you heard this before? Busy upcoming week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Darien and St. Anthony's will match up. They continue their long-standing non-league series. St. Anthony's in a battle with Lawrenceville right now. Great rivalry between Farmingdale and Massapequa. Delbarton and Chaminade, similar to Darien and St. Anthony's, also continuing their long-standing rivalry. And then a week from today, Woodstick Classic. Garden City is off until facing Manhasset. 90 years of the Woodstick Classic, 142nd edition. Could be watched right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The boys will follow the girls, their 10th Woodstick Classic. As for right now, the Trojans potentially in another classic. As they gave up the first 8, they scored the last 5. With Rob Anderson, David Resnick, our entire Varsity Media Sports Network crew on this Saturday afternoon in Suffolk County that continues to be overcast and drizzly. The umbrellas, for the most part, have been put away, but during warm-ups, a pretty significant downpour. We started without delay from the weather, and perhaps you can say it played a factor in that first half with some uncharacteristic Garden City turnovers, but otherwise has not really played a part in this game. Northport possession, despite the protest of Garden City as the play unfolded right in front of them. Nearly even at the faceoff dot. Teams have gone on runs, not necessarily resulting in goals, but there have been spurts for both teams. Jack Delaberti spinning, his shot to the side of the cage, and a ground ball battle ensues. Garden City with numbers and now possession after Delaberti was last to touch.
And Dave, like you said, while the faceoffs haven't necessarily resulted in goals, I feel like it has changed momentum a little bit. It looked like it was all Northport in that first quarter. Tail of two totally different quarters.
And perhaps I should be more specific to your point, where Garden City started winning faceoffs, but it was Northport that got out to a good start, and it was the wins by Cascadon in the second quarter where they are able to play make it, take it, and build the goals that way. Garden City has scored 5 straight, Asaro with 2. Smith, Wukta, and Coaster round out the 5 goals. Asaro 14 in the maroon with a full head of steam down the right alley. Now this is Coaster, who celebrated his late first half goal with a thunderous fist pump as he now looks to set up Cameron Foley, the pole for this dodge, as he clears out Smith from that right alley. Coaster sends it behind. It is Smith, Robertiello with it. Medjid on the step down. It is blocked and deflected prior to the circle. Two seconds to go on the shot clock, and it's just dumped behind. So nice job there by the Tigers to hold strong and not allow a shot on goal and force the violation. Garden City trying to ride hard. Cabrera took a high hit, but Coaster might have gotten the brunt of that exchange as he is limping off the field, favoring his right shoulder. Wide of the frame on the shot, just underway in the third quarter, and Garden City closest to it where and when. And so one and done for the Tigers.
You pointed out Charlie Coaster in visible pain on the sideline. I mean, he is red-faced, so hopefully he'll be all right.
Another turnover on their end of the field. Gives it right back to the Tigers, who are a bit on their heels.
Get a look at Coaster there. Looks like he's working on his elbow. Could have been a stinger there.
He's getting that elbow guard back on. That's a good sign for Garden City. Loose ball, and what a battle. Scooped up with one hand by O'Brien. There is a flag down, so a delayed penalty is coming against Garden City.
Might have been a trip down there. I mean, it looked like lost footing, but flag in that location.
Right on the doorstep, broke it up. Good stick there by LeSure. And now we will learn of the penalty. Just the second EMO of the game. Bill Lawler and Kevin Sullivan. It's a 30-second push with possession, and that sends Merritt Ruck to a knee.
Well, it's a good scoring opportunity there for Seamus Burke right before we got that whistle. He was in a great position. but unable to finish. And Northport would love to get a goal. After rattling off 8 straight, it's been 5 the other way.
Beg your pardon, it's Declan Wukta that drew the penalty. The interception, good stick for LeSure. And a flag is thrown. It is against Northport.
And I'm sure that was Grayson Cabrera apologizing immediately thereafter as they went chest to chest. But what a hit. I mean, that was NFL style. Good Lord.
Unnecessary roughness there. Cabrera will take a knee.
Not a guy you want watching from the sidelines. 2 goals today and 2 pretty ones. He's been involved in this offense even when he's not scoring.
So a free clear here for Garden City. They'll take over on the offensive side of the field. Wukta is still out for his 30-second push. So it is 5-on-5 until the expiration of his penalty. Six on 5. It's a 1-minute penalty. High to high, and what a stop. Stabile robbing Smith.
Really quick stick there by Stabile. He just watched that thing from the sight line right away and got his stick up there and made a really pretty save, and then the control even better.
Joseph Zarcone passes it pole to pole. Ball is loose. Berkery on top of it. It's getting flipped around. Who's going to take it?
I'll tell you, that Owen Wukta is a real pest out there. I mean, he's the one that forced that turnover. He is a lot of fun to watch on this team. One of those unsung hero types. He's everywhere.
Failure to advance on Northport. That delayed battle for the ground ball just basically ran out the clock. We're back to even strength as that shot is off the back of Cash and never found its way to the cage. Sprinting the other way is Loakono. So Garden City cannot cash in on the extra man. It was 8-5 at the break, and this third quarter starting similarly to the first, where it took some time before the first goal of the half. Cash, right alley dodge. Looking to go against Kraus. Cash still has it. Flag is thrown. Delayed penalty. It's coming up against LeSure, who is guarding Cash as he fought his way through checks.
Ooh.
Forget about the penalty. Liacono from distance.
Loiacono looking like he was just going to toss it to the net, hoping that it was on. That long distance bounce. We'll see if there was a screen. A nice little roll dodge there. Sidearms it. Not a lot of mustard on it. I think it was just blocking, the sight line for the keeper. Not there. Schliff could not see the ball until it was past his shoulder. But Liacono taking that shot, and it pays off. Breaking the 5-goal streak there by the Trojans.
First goal for Northport since the 9:40 mark of the second quarter. So over 15 minutes of game action without a goal after scoring the first 8 of the contest. The penalty was a hold, and that gets wiped off. Oh, what a check. Cascaded a yard sale with Cabrera cocking the stick back to whip it home. Transition the other way. Garden City unsettled. That blast is taken off the back of Levine. Boy, this is turning into like a hockey game in terms of all of the block shots and deflections.
Even the physicality is looking a little hockey style right now. And it looked like Luke Cascadden had a nice run on that, and he was going to get the pass. They chose to go the other way. But they are moving the ball really well. So while it does resemble that first quarter, Garden City certainly doesn't. They've settled in, and they're not making mistakes.
Loiacono becomes another goal scorer for Northport. They've got 9, but they go one and done on this possession after they forced a Garden City one and done. Trojans, the only one-loss team left in the Nassau Power League, but they're undefeated against New York competition. And now Garden City turns it over, trailing by 4. And if Northport is to score again, it'll be the first time all season that the Trojans have conceded double-digit goals.
What a game to cap a long day of lacrosse. And again, the weather not great, but this place has been packed with fans and food, and a really important day here up in Northport.
23rd annual Acapulco Lacrosse Jamboree. On the move, it is bounced home. Finessed his way in for Delaberti. Make it 4.
And here's another look at it. Delaberti gets that pass from Logan Cash. Just a bulldodge right in there and makes it look easy. Doesn't overpower the ball, just a little soft shot, and gets it in. And Delaberti his 4th of the day. 10-5. Northport now doubling up Garden City.
Trojans had given up 9 goals on a couple occasions in their first 10. Northport becomes the first team to score double figures against this vaunted Garden City defense. Luke Cascadden tracks it down for the win.
So the whistle for a man down on the field, and it doesn't look like it was contact, but you can see Coach Fennell heading out there with a trainer, and it is, I believe, Luke Cascadden down. It is Luke, and the trainers are going to get a look at him. So during that, we're going to just take a quick little read it, because Varsity Media brings you lots and lots of action.
Now is a great time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast. Our professional announcers bring the stories of your athletes to life, highlighting their accomplishments and the hard work behind every game. With Varsity Media Sportscast, you can keep fans, family, and alumni connected, even when they're far away. It's a perfect way to showcase your athletes and create lasting memories for everyone involved. Reach out now to book a sportscast at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. And if Rob comes to your game, he will bring a bounty from his home garden as an added bonus to perhaps entice you to call in Varsity Media.
Yeah, come through, book a game, and visit us up in the press box.
You'll provide the spread. I love it.
And David does the music.
A DJ for you?
Yeah. Speaking of spread, I mean, they really did a nice job here in Northport with the food, the Booster Club. I got a nice Italian wrap earlier today, so.
Garden City offsides as Schliff came over. 5 varsity games, 4 boys, 1 girls. Northport ladies played Wilton just prior to this contest, and then the other fields surrounding the 2 main playing fields, littered with kids and youth events. The next generation of Tigers all around these fields. 4 minutes to go, third quarter. Garden City won last year's matchup 8-4. Wasn't necessarily a 2-year home and home, but a spot on the calendar opened up for Northport, and Garden City obliged. Oh, Delaberti, one-handed offhanded, make it 5.
And all those youth groups that were here today, I mean, if you tuned in and should be tuned in to the Varsity Media Sports Network, I mean, this is the guy you want to model yourself on. Again, Cash dishes it off to Delaberti, one-handed over the top tomahawk. What a goal. And, I mean, again, if you're a young kid watching this game, you know, you're going to tell them, I'm going to try to make my way up to wear number 1 one day on this Northport Tiger team. What a show.
Billy Courts, head coach, Northport, said that Delaberti is the truth. And Steve Fennell, the head coach of Garden City, coaching Delaberti and club. And I think he has the sense of how good the Ohio State-bound senior is. Now with 37 goals on the season, on pace to set some new records here at Northport as the Tigers reclaim a 6-goal lead thanks to the only 3 goals scored in the third. Pass through the crease is picked off.
They can't handle the truth. Delaberti.
Will DeTola, the short stick defensive midfielder, from defense to offense. 1 in the white with 5, including the last 2. Had a first half hat trick, and now adding a couple more for good measure to solidify the lead for Northport. A game of runs, 8 in a row for the Tigers to start, 5 straight for the Trojans to retaliate. Now 3 straight here in the third, 11-5 with 2:30 to go.
And on those 2 goals was this guy here, Cash, with the 2 assists.
Cash carries across goal line extended. Cabrera on the jump shot, and Schliff just got his body in front to make the save.
I'd like to know who Northport's acrobatics coach is, because they are just like, everybody's leaping in the air. And
a lot of schools adding tumbling to their offerings. Very important.
It's incredible.
Asaro backing his way in, now up top to Berkery. Villanova-bound senior. Pulls out DeTola. Garden City scoreless in the first. They were scoreless in the third until putting one home on the inside. Berkery from Smith.
So there we'll get another look at it, and Berkery, oh, there's Smith. He's going to get the ball down to Berkery, and Cameron Foley putting a hit on him, but not before the release and the goal there for number 16, Michael Berkery. 6th goal of the game there for the Trojans.
Taking a hit to make a play.
So Smith now with a goal and an assist.
Both these teams winning county titles in 21, 22, and 23. Falling short last year, Northport by a goal in the Suffolk Finals to Half Hollow Hills, a team they have upcoming. Garden City falling in the semifinals to arch rival Manhasset and Woodstick 141. Southside would go on to beat Manhasset in the Class B final. Asaro. That was deflected out, so not a turnover. Northport got a piece of it as the pass came through the crease. Shot clock down to 20. Medjid goes behind. Coaster calls for it. Held to just a single goal today as Garden City has only 6. For an offense that averages around 11. Coaster draws a double. His pass too tall. Rolling towards midfield at the end of the shot clock, and it's just flipped back before the violation.
Yeah, Hail Mary in the direction of Ben Smith, but not enough time as that shot clock expires, and we'll reset and get another 60 here for Northport. Northport again with a 5-goal lead with 20 seconds remaining. Shot clock inconsequential at this point. And you can bet they're going to move this thing around to the last second.
Or not.
Or not.
Logan Cash. Check that bank account.
Yeah, that's it. Take it to the bank, Logan. Second goal of the game. He's got 2 goals, 2 assists. As they huddle up and celebrate Logan Cash. And make him eat my words, that big hop step and the bouncer shot, those deep bounces have been a lot of trouble for Schliff.
If there was one area where the rain could affect things, maybe the strings of the cross, but also just the surface and the skidding. And I think to your point, now 9 seconds is close to the end of the quarter, but this was not like a wait your time sort of situation, and Schliff maybe caught a bit off guard as it came pouring in from the outside. What last-ditch effort after the face-off win for Cascadon. And Northport establishing control of this game. A 12-6 lead for the home Tigers. Winding down in the third quarter, Logan Cash, his second deposit of the afternoon, and it's a 6-goal lead for the Tigers entering the fourth quarter on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Design, build, and maintain your dream home. J&R Custom Landscaping has been proudly offering landscape design for over 30 years. Give them a call today.
5-star rating on Yelp, I just looked.
But of course.
Of course.
Start of the fourth quarter. Fresh 12 minutes on the clock after a 4-1 Northport third quarter edge. Doubling up Garden City in this matchup of two of the best public schools on Long Island. Northport 8-1. Perfect against New York State competition, and Dylan Bumgarth squeezes out the ground ball in possession on that one against Garden City, 9-1. Their only loss to Severn of Maryland in a neutral site game at St. Joe's. So both these teams perfect in state, perfect on the island. And it's such a great thrill to have these two great teams meeting at this point in the season within shouting distance of the playoffs, both nationally ranked in the public school rankings by U.S. Lacrosse. And top 5 in the state in their respective classes. Northport Class A, Garden City Class B, and of course, once again, contenders for their respective county titles. Shot clock down to 7. Cash swimming inside. Cash goes backhanded for the highlight reel goal.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Even Stabile had his hands on his head after that one. To talk about the acrobatics, that is absolutely incredible. And the beauty of instant replay is that he's going to get to look at that one again. Cash getting the hat trick on what is one of the prettiest goals you're ever going to see in this game. We got a little frozen bit there, but listen, just hit rewind on YouTube. I mean, that was absolutely incredible. He spun around, and again, they have to have an acrobatics coach. This is getting ridiculous. Logan Cash, a three-piece nugget, and he's got 5 points in this game.
After that move, he deserves at least 6. Some after-hour banking here in Suffolk County as Logan Cash, a player who his head coach describes as someone that does everything asked of him, the footwork, the power, the creativity on the delivery with his back to the cage to go backhanded and whip it by the keeper. Impressive.
And him and Delaberti now accounting for 8 of the goals.
And 2 of the prettiest you will see in terms of the individual effort. Harken back to that Delaberti third quarter goal in which he elevated himself and created a tough angle or a high angle with his offhand and slammed it home from distance.
And gave Cash the assist on that one, so team effort there.
Robert Tiello tried to play the ball after losing his stick instead of vacating the area. So that's an infraction, and Levine already with an assist, looking for more as he spins to his left, sets up Delaberti for a shot that whistles to the corner. So Northport now playing with a jump in their step that was absent during the Garden City 5-goal streak. And now really looking to put this one away. On a day here at Northport that means a lot to the community, the 23rd annual Acapulco Lacrosse Jamboree, the LA12 Foundation. It has been built into more than just a single game or a single moment. Delaberti takes a hit and maintains possession. A readjustment of his helmet as he feeds the crease. Too tall there for Cabrera, but backed up by Nick Spinner. Getting a run here in the midfield to give Logan Cash a minute to collect himself. Cabrera got the scoring started back in the first. It's beyond Spinner and out of bounds. A turnover with 2 seconds left on the shot clock.
And you can bet when Coach Courts goes back and looks at the film, he's going to have his team really lock in on that second quarter because things started to fall apart there. And then they have come back since and have been dominant once again. Outside of that second quarter, it's been Northport all the way.
With 13 goals, they've now scored in double figures in 9 of 10. On the verge of improving to 5-1 on their home fields. On the heels of a showdown with Half Hollow Hills, that Suffolk A county final rematch that was decided by just a goal. Oh, what a stop in front, Stabile. Don't forget about his effort. And on the reload, on the low angle, it's James DeBuscher putting it home.
So after that great save by Gavin Stabile, DeBuscher able to capitalize, and we'll get another look at that one. And a nice pass out in front and buried by DeBuscher, and it looked like that pass was Charlie Coaster. Good job.
Coaster picks up the assist to the grandson of the legendary Nick, Dave DeBuscher. After his playing days, settled in Garden City.
Gotta love it when the legends stay home, move to Long Island, and keep their athletic grandchildren in the system.
back when Hall of Famers played for the Knicks and they won titles.
Little jab there, huh, Mr. Resnick?
I mean, it's just,
just
trying to motivate them, that's all.
Thank God there's no Jets on the team, the former Jet players.
Oh, we don't. That's the third rail that we don't touch. As a
We don't
long-suffering.
Got to see Sean Ellis' son playing basketball this winter. So another guy staying on Long Island.
In front, and DeBuscher gets knocked down. And the flag was thrown. Let's see if that was the illegal hit on DeBuscher or I missed it from before. Penalty will be adjudicated. Cameron Foley is out for a minute. Garden City 0 for 1 on the extra man.
Yeah, you got it right. DeBuscher was given the thumbs up. It might have been to you. So Cameron Foley's going to take a seat. Gives Garden City a nice opportunity. They're down 13-7 with 7 remaining in the game.
Six on 5 in the blast. Coaster kind of lost it out of his stick.
Yeah, just a quick release there. Trying to do a little too much. And it just skied over the top. But they are setting things back up on this perimeter. Coaster waiting for a second shot here.
Set up on that left wing, and his shot was deflected short of the cage. Good ground ball picked up by Mejid. A blast for Asaro never got all the way home, and the ground ball picked up by Northport, trying to finish this man down, but there's Cascadin with the interception. Trying to make something happen across the fields. But that's been something all game, just the connections just a little bit off. Midway through the fourth. Loiacono gets the touch in the box. Running towards the cage and now sprints away from the circle in a quick change of direction.
Yeah, nice little deke there by Loiacono. Looked like he was going to go straight to the net. And then thought better as they're going to use the clock now to their advantage as well. Can't just kill it. We've got a shot clock, but you can bet they're going to run that thing as low as they can with each possession.
The 1 minute illegal body check against Foley has expired. Shot clock under 30 seconds. Northport taking its time. First year for the shot clock in New York State as Burke comes charging in from a tough angle. Schliff was hugging his post, and the ground ball picked up by Asaro. Unsettled for Garden City. Needs a lot to happen in a hurry. And another turnover. Poor execution on the passing and catching, and that has been something that has plagued Garden City throughout.
And there is a little bit of a sense of urgency. So while you do want to try to create plays as quickly as possible, a lot of contact. Good Lord. Is mugging, as they continue. Frustration definitely on part of Garden City. Had a 5-on-1 there. Grayson Cabrera.
Timeout, Northport. Saving Cabrera from being swallowed up. Or Northport is saying that they never called timeout.
We're also trying to find out why there was no flag there as Cabrera got assaulted. I mean, he was swarmed by the burgundy jerseys and a couple hits during and after the play. But it will result in a timeout, I'm assuming, for Northport.
So the teams are huddling. Billy Court's second season, 23-4 after a 15-3 opening campaign. Similar to Steve Fennell coaching his alma mater, Northport 03, returning to the program in 2012, working his way up through the ranks, replacing George Searing, who won a couple of state titles with the Tigers. And the connection for Courts when it comes to Louis Acampora is that Billy told our colleague Kevin Bunk that he got interested or was inspired to play lacrosse because of Louis Acampora, who sadly and tragically passed away in March of 2000. That was the freshman year for Billy. So the connection from his time as a student to now leading his alma mater and the 23rd annual Acampora Lacrosse Jamboree, I'd imagine it's personal for him and certainly something that the community remembers and rallies behind, and he's in the middle of all of it.
No, you said it, David. I mean, you got this little nook up on the North Shore, Northport, and what a community it is. They come together for this amazing event, and, so much pride in the community that you see alma mater coming back and coaching. It's always a great story when you see guys that graduated and have a passion for a sport be able to come back and teach or coach in the district they graduated from, and everybody coming together today on an annual celebration of life for, again, like you said, a tragic passing for a 14-year-old boy. But the difference that it has had on athletics has resonated since. And, again, Joe Gaskin on the field prior, a survivor of a heart attack, and the defibrillator helping him out. So the Acampora Foundation doing great things.
I mean, the impact is real. Like, AEDs are ubiquitous wherever you go now. And the attention and the value that family has brought to that device and the importance of having it at athletic facilities, the impact is innumerable and almost hard to truly articulate. As Charlie Coaster is called for the slash, making contact to the helmet of Gavin Stabile. Extra man for Northport, 4:35 to go. In solid and firm control of this game, of this Nassau-Suffolk showdown, two of the best public schools this year on Long Island and over the past 2 decades and beyond. Cash from the wing, easy save for Schliff. A bit of a gift for Garden City. But now they have a man down clear. Garden City calling timeout.
And, David, just to circle back to the, not just the device itself, which, all the coaches get trained in. It's something that's been a part of my coaching life for a while. But also the awareness to react, the awareness to do something, because anybody can. Another big thing. So
Garden City on the way to their second loss of the season.
And they've got a few games coming up there, 5-game schedule, some big teams in front of them as they cap things off. So Garden City just, going to hit the reset button from today. They are up against Northport, a big squad, and some rivalries on deck for Garden City as they continue to try to maintain their dominance in Nassau County.
Next one up on the slate, rare that there would be a week off, but they don't play for 7 days until – I'm not sure if Garden City has ever played a team from Manhasset before. They're able to locate it on a map or their colors or mascot. But for the first time maybe ever, they will face each other, or for the 142nd time over the last 90 years. It's a rivalry and a matchup that in a lot of ways defines Long Island lacrosse. Maybe just Nassau, as the folks in Suffolk would have something to say about that. But for any type of lacrosse fan, the spirit, the energy, the intensity. Normally it's the first of 2 meetings and potentially can be again as Garden City and Manhasset are once again in the same Class B. There were a bunch of years, even recently, where Manhasset would drop down to C, and you kind of knew that the regular season game was for the 365-day bragging rights, but you can't get too comfortable in this scenario knowing that there could be a playoff matchup to come.
And it tells you, it's a testament to both programs and how good they are. You got teams located pretty far from each other. And they're rivals. Soccer as well. I mean, it is a rivalry and a lot of fun to watch.
Pretty far from each other, especially on a Friday evening.
Yeah.
or a morning commute. This is Asaro with the split dodge. Goes to the left hand and blasts one home. Beating Stabile that time, and still a little bit of life here for the Trojans.
And it's the guy who gave them life the first time, Anthony Asaro, his third goal. So he's got his hat trick for the Trojans. He's also got an assist on the day, and here's a look at it. He's coming down, one hand, gets two hands on the stick, and just boom, sidewinder right in over the left shoulder of Stabile.
Are you responsible for providing the three-piece, or that's a separate deal?
I think it's a separate deal. That was it. That's an offer from J&R Landscaping. Right after they're done installing.
I just didn't know if, in addition to the berries and the basil, your garden also produced chicken nuggets.
We can do that. We can do that.
Flipped out by Bumgarth, and there's Blake Cascadden. And while it was still in the cross of Cascadden, Steve Fennell burns his second and final timeout. Possession of utmost importance here with a difference of 5.
I think part of the conversation, obviously, is going to be take care of the ball. You know, possession is going to be an important part. They've got to take shots and, follow them up. But the other thing is I have to assume you're going to have to try to force some kind of turnovers or put pressure on Northport because the clock is on their side. 3 minutes and 15 seconds, 5-goal lead. They can eat a lot of clock regardless of that 60-second shot clock.
So Garden City, by nature of being in Nassau compared to Northport in Suffolk, is just they have more opportunity for non-league games. And so they came here to Suffolk County and beat Ward Melville. They've played Rye of Section 1. They've gone to Jersey to play Bridgewater Raritan. They've played Jamesville DeWitt, a Central New York Power, in a neutral site game at Scranton. And so they have built a resume, Severn of Maryland at 9-1. And Northport, they've given Sachem North one of their 2 losses. Huntington's only loss. They've beaten Smithtown East and Ward Melville. All of this to say that Northport has to be very judicious with their scheduling of their only 2 non-league games. And knowing what Garden City is and what they've done, listing off the resume, Northport is 315 away from, hate these cliches, but a statement win or their most important victory of the season, given what the Trojans have built coming into today's matchup.
Yeah, they don't book just any old non-league games, either one of these programs.
Northport lost to Springfield Delco, currently 13-1 of Pennsylvania. Medjid spinning, frees the left hand, off target on the bouncer. Under 3 to play. 36 seconds on the shot clock. Garden City gears up for Manhasset. Northport will have Half Hollow Hills next. They were off this weekend. Believe they have a game before the Tigers. And so at least through today, both teams remain undefeated in Suffolk A play. And Half Hollow Hills still perfect on the year overall. Low pass. Robert Tiello scoops it up. Dispossessed. What a check. Great stick. But then it's given right back. Foley came away with the turnover, but here is Asaro. He's dispossessed, but got it back. 2:10 to go.
You got a pretty turnover like that. You really got to be better with the ball, especially when you got nothing but time on your hands.
Coasters pass, nobody home. Asaro overran it. Cascadden is able to collect. Bit of a question as to whether or not that was over and back as it skidded towards midfield. Stabile was the closest one to it. 1:42 left. 5-goal game.
And Dave, I'll just say, if you go back to the non-league schedules you're talking about, a lot of times coaches, I'm coaching a long time, you look for friendlies, you look to create things, local competition, you're trying to get some practice games in. When Garden City creates a non-league schedule, they are looking to play teams that they're going to see in the playoffs down the road. They don't mess around. This is not like, let's get some friendlies and try to get some work in. They look to play the best.
Yeah, and they look to, if they win their games at the end of the season, be in contention for, not that this is the purpose, but the result of their schedule and winning the majority of the games. In fact, Steve Fennell with 294 wins, 83% winning percentage, putting them in a position to be considered one of the top teams in the country like they were. I believe it was back in 2012 when they went 22-0. And ranked number 1 as a Class B school. Cascadin might have come over, was not called. He does scoop it up with the footwork. 30 seconds to go. A scrambling final 2 minutes as Garden City trails. Flag is down, and the bounce shot is home. Michael Berkery sneaks it through the screen with 25 seconds to go.
Nice work there by Berkery. A nice aggressive play for Garden City to maintain possession. And you'll see Berkery there just bouncing one down low. That's his second goal with 25 seconds left. And the foul's going to be wiped off the board.
So it stands right now at 13-10. Or am I miscounting?
I have 9. What do you got there? 2 for Berkery, 1 for Coaster, 1 for Smith, 3 for Asara, 1 for DeBuscher, and 1 for Owen Wukta. Right?
That'd be good if I can count.
It's been a long game. But yeah, you can bet Garden City definitely aiming at least try to get to those double digits.
13-9, 18 seconds to go. Northport uses its timeout. And a look at what is coming up for the Tigers. Big stretch here, Garden City, and then as mentioned on the road at Half Hollow Hills. Riverhead, Longwood, and Bayshore rounding out the quartet of upcoming games. And then shortly thereafter, it's like when you have a graphic and you know the next line is like the playoffs or shortly thereafter, May comes upon you pretty quickly.
It certainly does. The schedule moving along, and I think all of us can't wait for May. April has been just a nightmare as far as the weather goes, and lacrosse not one of the sports affected by it, but the amount of rain that we've had, and cold rain at that, it's been a rough spring and becoming the norm. You know, you play in with the fall sports going into the playoffs, and you're still wearing T-shirts, and then the beginning of spring, cold. So May can't come soon enough. Playoff sports, hopefully better weather.
You kind of seem to me like a 365 T-shirt guy, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm close to it. I'm classically what I look like. I'm not a guy that wears shorts in the snow, though.
Okay, you're not that coach. Okay.
No, but I do keep the windows open in my classroom, and they hate it.
Final seconds coming off the clock. 13-9, Northport on the 23rd annual Akampora Lacrosse Jamboree comes away with an impressive non-league win. They pour out onto the field, and Gavin Stabile, the senior captain, kind of signaling to his team, let's be happy and let's celebrate, but let's act like a team that's been here before and has aspirations beyond just a big-time win over an impressive Garden City program. What a win for the Tigers. They scored the game's first 8 points. Garden City with 5 in a row to make it an interesting game at halftime, but then 3 straight to open up the second half, really put this game away. And a 13-9 finish that only looks as close as it does because Garden City scored the last 3 over the last 8 minutes.
Yeah, Delaberti and Cash combining for 8 of those goals. What a day, and what a day for Northport. Other than a second quarter that got away from them, they really battened down the hatches, and beyond what they did on the field, a really important day for the community. So congratulations to Northport, team, coaches, fans, and everybody else involved in the makings of today.
Northport 9-1 after the win. Garden City drops to 9-2. Their 7-game winning streak snapped in their first loss against a team in the state of New York. Jack Delaberti with 5, Logan Cash with the hat trick, and both with impressive highlight reel goals. Once again, the final score 13-9. Northport scores double digits for the 9th time in 10 games. First time Garden City has allowed more than 9 this season. This has been a Varsity Media production, and our executive producer is Ben Turchin. Technical director today, Becca Kazaks. Along with Rob Anderson, I'm David Resnick, Tony DeMasso, and Brian Kazaks, our camera operator. Northport 13, Garden City 9. A victory for the Tigers as we thank you for watching on the Varsity